this is our project today. It's a pretty old one. I already have the hood removed. It was an old Montgomery Ward's industrial commercial. Limited edition, boys.
Limited edition.
And the problem that it's had for a long time, I've always been able to get it running, but it really struggles to turn the engine over. I've replaced the battery, and it's not the battery. It'll turn over a few times when I put a new battery in it, but then eventually it's like the battery dies real quick and it just won't turn over anymore. So I think what's going on is that we have a starter motor problem, and when these starter motors start to wear out, they start to draw a lot of amperage from the battery, and that causes the battery to go dead quicker than it normally would. So I think I've finally zeroed in on the problem, and it's this starter motor. So let's take things apart, see what we have. And what we have here is an old school Briggs and Stratton opposed twin engine. This particular one is a 16 horsepower. And I've done some work on it before, got the carburetor cleaned out, that sort of thing, but the problem is it just struggles to turn over the engine. So with these engines, you have these two bolts on each side, and you have these in the back on each side, and you have these here on the front on both sides. These are normally I normally use a 3/8 socket, but someone has used bigger bolts here. I don't think that someone was me. I have had this mower for a few years. I just like it. These old MTDs were built to last. Rebuilt the deck on it at one time. Hasn't had much use since. Now you also have two little bolts over here that hold the oil dipstick on. You'll want to take those off so you don't take off the oil dipstick when you take the cover off. And I have a 5/16 socket here to take these off. Sorry if you folks can't see, it's kind of dark, but there's two on each side. Alright, I think we should be able to lift this cover off now. Yep. This is what the top of the starter motor looks like. When your starter motor kicks in, it spins this little gear up like so, and it engages with the flywheel like this. Boy, it almost feels like it's caught up on something. Yeah, I think that starter motor's bad, man. The engine's nice and free. Kind of hard to tell. Things aren't too wobbly. Let's take it off, see what we have. It's a 1/2-inch socket. Oh, I need to disconnect it. Gotta remember to disconnect the power first here. Boy, that was rusted on there. You want to make sure that the stud doesn't rotate. You'll be ripping off wires on the inside if you do that. So this connection here, you want to make sure is not rusty, because that means you're not getting a good connection if it's rusty. Let's see what the cable looks like here. Yeah, the cable's not too bad. So to get to the other bolt, it's way back underneath the flywheel here. But you can get to it. You just have to take off this heat shield. Give yourself a little more room. Hopefully these bolts don't break. They usually do when you try to take them off. Nope. Today's my lucky day. Let me show you guys where this bolt is at. You see it back in there? Hopefully you can. So what you need to get up under there is a box end wrench. Alright, I'm not sure which one of these will work best. I'm going to try this one first. Unfortunately, I can't get this end on it to ratchet it off, so we'll just have to do it the old school way. Don't strip it out, you'll be hating life. Ah, there we go. Luckily, these bolts are never usually on too tight. It's a tight squeeze, boys, but you can get it. Quarter turn at a time. It takes a while. I think once you get it loose enough, you can take it off with your fingers, maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, I remember this job now. This part takes a while. Just put this in there and lift up on the bolt when you finally unscrew it all the way. That's how you do it. So I'm just I'm going to spin up this gear. God dang, this is really stiff. I think I should be able to twist that a lot easier than that. Yeah, that thing is very stiff. Now is a good time to inspect the teeth on your ring gear. Make sure none of them are chipped. We're looking good. Now you can rebuild starters, or you can replace them. I guess that determines on what kind of condition this is in, whether or not I'm going to rebuild it. New ones are getting pretty cheap. So I found this one, and as you can see, much easier to turn in both directions. So this one's definitely bad. Let's put this one on, see how it works. So let's put it on. You have to put in this bolt first. Kind of lift it up, get it passed in there. See if you can get it started with your fingers a little bit. I'm going to put this one here to help hold it in place. Kind of tough to get this bolt started, but you can do it. Just wiggle the motor around a little bit. All right. So I'm able to put both my middle fingers in here and get to that bolt and tighten it. I finally got it started. So I'm going to spin it down as far as these two middle fingers can do it. All right. Tighten this baby up. Get this one started before you tighten up that back one all the way. Okay, almost there. Right, it's good and tight. And that one too. Let's hook the power up to this beast. And if your cable is rusty, sand it off so it's nice and clean metal. This one's still good. Right. Let's see what we have here. The choke lever is stuck over here, so I went ahead and disconnected it from the carburetor right there, or at least loosened it so I could move it around. And I believe that's the on position, so let's give this a try. Bit of smoke, it's not running too bad. Probably been 2 years since it's been started. Maybe a year. See, we have some water coming out of the muffler here. Oh, man, it runs good. Glad to hear that. So I think that was the problem, folks. Just that old starter motor there was just worn out. Let this run a bit. Let you guys listen if you want. Yeah, it runs real nice. See, it's kind of smoking a bit, but it'll burn out, I'm sure.